When cooking for a lot of people with large pots, camp gas cannot do a lot. That is why I decided to cook outside today with firewood. My brother helped me to break the firewood and I had to make fire without any form of gas or petrol. How we do this is to first light up a paper or a nylon and then place the tiny woods on it so that the fire can circulate. Today I'll be making white rice and stew for my family. Camp gas does not circulate this pot, but firewood will be faster and I'm also assured that the food will cook evenly. I put the rice inside the pot to parboil it first of all. We usually do this to get rid of the excess starch. While the rice is on fire, I decided to have some pawpaw and also some odara, or as some people call it, abolumo. After that, I quickly brought out the meat I had prepared the night before to wash it. This is a live chicken that was prepared the night before and kept in the fridge. While doing this, I was so grateful that I had already done this the night before, because this is what piles up the stress of cooking, taking out the feathers and doing the butcher's job. The thing about cooking with firewood is that it's not consistent. You have to keep arranging the firewood and fanning it into flames. So I put down the rice to wash it for the first time. That is getting rid of the starch. Like I said earlier, you see the water, how milky it looks. I have to get rid of that and put the fresh water that I'll be using to continue the cooking. I checked the meat on fire and it has parboiled. So I put it down and placed back the pot in which I'll be cooking my rice. I was instructed by my mother to divide this meat into two. So I put part of the meat inside the ingiga. I don't know what that is called in English, but it is used to dry meat on hot charcoal, something like that. So the water on fire has finally boiled and I washed my rice into the boiling water. It is encouraged to leave the water to boil when cooking rice for the second time so that the rice does not soak up a lot of water and become too soft. I had to drain out the meat from the stock because I'll be frying it later. And this is me using my spoon to dip into the rice to make sure that all the water inside are dried up. Now it's time for my stew. I had to fry the meat first of all. You know, this thing is a Greek fowl, like we call it. The meat is usually very soft, so I had to fry it to make it strong a bit before I started frying my tomato. The tomato is not exactly blended. My brother helped me to pound them in a mortar. I also had to add tin tomatoes to increase the quantity of the stew. At this point, the sun has come out and it is very hot, but I have to finish what I started. So I stirred the stew to make sure it does not burn. So I added some curry powder and mixed spices, like we call it. If the stew is properly fried, it would not slap. I quickly checked before adding my meat stock, some seasoning cubes, and the meat I had fried earlier. At this point, I was just supposed to transfer this stew to the pot, but I just left it. I wanted to get everything over and done with since I was still under the sun. I believe the frying pan made frying the stew faster. I dished the first plate of rice even before putting the stew down. After putting the stew down, I put the meat on the hot charcoal so it would dry up. I also had to dish a second plate because my brother's friend is around. After being exposed to the heat of the sun and the fire, a cold bath was so important. Thank you for watching.